Good morning, and hopefully this is going to be a quick one, although I doubt it given that this is my third attempt at this one because my boy is actually playing the game that I want to talk about today in the other room, and unfortunately the first time I tried to record this he started singing at the top of his voice, and the second time he started shouting at the screen because of something going on within the game. So at least he's enjoying the game on some level at least. And the game I want to talk about is Splatoon 2. Now, for those of you who don't know, I owned a Wii U, still do, and we used to play Splatoon on the Wii U, and we used to have a lot of fun with it, playing each other. And he always used to beat me at it, to be honest, because he's a lot better at the game than I am. So, I pre-ordered Splatoon 2, even though I had my reservations about the game. And we've sat down and we've taken a look at the game, and, well, it looks slightly better. It does manage occasionally to reach 1080p when it's docked. And the shadows are better, as Digital Foundry have said in their review of the game. Looking at the technical aspects of the game, they've shown that it's actually an improvement over the Wii U edition. However, it's not broadly an advancement. And one of the problems I have with the game, and one of the reasons I bought the game, in fact, is to do with local multiplayer. Now, as I say, I used to play my boy at local multiplayer on the original Splatoon, and we used to have a blast with it. And this is one of the things we were looking forward to on Splatoon 2, being able to sit down and play local multiplayer, couch multiplayer if you like, and perhaps couch co-op. And so we had a look at the game, and there is no local multiplayer. Not at all. No option for it. That's if you can find your way through the options, because frankly, Nintendo's setup for this game and the way you go into playing games is a bit of a dog's breakfast. I actually like games to be set up in such a way that you can go into them easily and just choose, the mode you want to play. Unfortunately, with Splatoon, there's all this, you go into one place and you have to walk around and go to stores and various, and it all looks very nice, but it slows down the actual ability to get into game, which I find really irritating. So we were wandering around in game trying to find where we could find local multiplayer. And we looked around and we went into various different options within the menu, and no, we couldn't find it anywhere. So Muggins here decided to go and have a look and find out. And maybe I should have done this before I pre-ordered it. But Nintendo obviously were playing this one quite close to their chest because they didn't want to give the game away on this. They wanted to surprise us with their functionality. And basically their surprise is that there is no local multiplayer. Or at least there is no local multiplayer unless you're Mr. Moneybags. And what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that in order to have local multiplayer, you have to have more than one Switch and more than one copy of the game. Yeah, you heard me right. You're probably looking at somewhere in the region of around about, £600-700 in order to play the game local multiplayer. It's utterly ridiculous. And I have to say, I'm laughing here, but I'm bloody fuming, to be honest. One of the main reasons for playing this game, one of the most enjoyable aspects of this game, is local multiplayer. As I said before, we used to have a blast with it on the Wii U, and now we can't play the game together. The main reason for me going out and buying this game so that we could sit down and have a laugh together is just not there anymore. And it seems to me that this is all about Nintendo trying to push us to spend more money on their products. Well, I've got news for you, Nintendo. There's no way in hell I'm going out and buying 2 copies of a Switch, if I could get hold of a second one, which actually in the UK I probably could quite easily. And there's no way I'm going to go out and buy 2 copies of the game. If you look at Sony and you look at Microsoft, both have a situation whereby you can buy a digital copy of a game and then you can run it on 2 consoles. So I could actually have my little boy upstairs with Star Wars Battlefront, and I could be playing him downstairs with Star Wars Battlefront, and we could have great fun playing the game. And I can do that with any number of games. And if you look at something like another game he really enjoys, which is Plants vs. Zombies. We've played Plants vs. Zombies split screen over and over. And so it looks like we're going to be playing those games rather than the games on the Switch, if this is going to be the future for the Switch. If they're not going to allow local multiplayer on their games, which is frankly what Nintendo have always been known for, local multiplayer is a big thing on Nintendo games, seems to me anyway. Always used to be in the past that we'd sit down and we'd play various games on Nintendo systems, and it would be the couch co-op and the couch multiplayer that would be the main aspect of it. And given that Nintendo's online is frankly piss poor, and their voice app, I'm not going to go into a lot of details on that here, but their voice app is a complete and utter waste of time, which I simply don't want anything to do with, certainly at this stage. Maybe I'll do another video on that. But frankly, I can't get onto it and use it often enough to make it worth me doing a video, frankly. Given that their online is utter crap at this stage, in my experience at least, having problems getting onto it, having problems using it when you are on it, the thing that I come back to when I can't play online is local multiplayer. And, I play football games, local multiplayer, and I've talked about some of the other games I play local multiplayer. To not include local multiplayer on a game like Splatoon 2 is utterly ridiculous. As I say, I'm trying to see the funny side of this, but frankly, it's not at all funny that they would not include this in the game. Did they not think about including it in the game? Or were they deliberately trying to push us towards having more than one Switch and more than one copy of the game? Are they so invested in making money that they don't actually give a shit at all about their customers? Because that's what it feels like to me. My experience now is that the more I have to do with the Switch, the less I want to have to do with it. Frankly, at this stage, I'm right on the cusp of wanting to sell the damn thing. I am sick of it. Every time I sit down to do something on the Switch, I am disappointed in some way. And this is just the latest example of that. I want to do a review of the Switch, and I've been holding off on it because I've been waiting for some decent games to come on, so that I could talk about the hardware in relation to the software. But the way it is at the moment, every time I think, okay, I'll sit down and I'll do a review, I end up in such a bad mood that I don't feel like I can give it a fair crack of the whip. But maybe it is a fair crack of the whip. Maybe me getting pissed off with them and annoyed with them is giving them a fair chance. Because it seems to me, as I've said already, that Nintendo are only interested in the bottom line. Why else would you leave off local multiplayer from a game like Splatoon 2 that lends itself to it? Plant vs. Zombies can have local multiplayer. And that's EA, for crying out loud. I'm sick of it. I am utterly sick of dealing with this bloody company that keeps things so close to its chest that half the time you don't even know what you're getting before you buy it. And then when you do get it, it's less than you were expecting. I made a video earlier talking about how I thought that Splatoon 2 was going to be a disappointment, and I thought that it might show us the limitations of the hardware, and a lot of people thought that I was talking rubbish. And it seems to me that there is some limitations there. If you look at the graphical capabilities of the game, it does look better than the Wii U, but not significantly so. Not to such a degree that it's actually worth giving up the Wii U version for the Switch version. And given that there is no local multiplayer on this version of the game, I actually would prefer to sit and play the Wii U version with my boy. Him playing it on the controller, me playing it on the screen, or vice versa. It wasn't split screen on that version either, but at least you could play local multiplayer. And as I said, I keep saying it, this game lends itself to local multiplayer, and I cannot see any reason why they would not implement it. It's lazy, and it seems like a cash grab to me. I might be wrong on that, but that's how it feels. But what do you guys think? Have any of you had any experience of this game? Do you think it's a significant upgrade? Do you think that the not having local multiplayer is a major step back? Because it is for me. And for people like me with kids, and let's be honest, one of the main reasons for buying this console is that you can play games with your kids because a lot of them are kid friendly. It seems to me the whole reason for owning it has gone out the window now. But, you know, I might be talking out my arse. I don't know. Come and let me know in the comments and we'll have a chat about it. But expect me to be a bit annoyed about this one. I'm a little bit animated over this. And I honestly, I've just about had it with Nintendo and their stupid approach and their total lack of respect for their customers. Right. I'm going to go and sit with me lad while he plays Splatoon 2 and grab myself a cup of tea. And I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.